What if one DM could change your entire career and your entire life? For Texas model Taylor Terry, that message came from someone claiming to be tied to Chris Brown's world. The offer, a spot on tour. The reaction, shock, excitement, and a little suspicion. But the deeper we dig, the more this dream opportunity starts to look less like a fairy tale and more like the opening scene of a very different story. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear connects a small-town runway star, one of the most talked about and most controversial names in the entire music industry. And it all starts with a message she almost ignored. Who is Taylor Terry? Before the headlines, before the whispers about Chris Brown's tour, Taylor Terry was a name quietly making noise in the background of the R&B world. She wasn't some overnight sensation pulled from a TikTok clip. No, Taylor had been grinding for years, born with a voice that could switch from silky smooth to goosebump-inducing power in seconds. She started performing in small local showcases, slowly building a reputation as that girl who could steal the room without even trying. Her big break came when a producer, impressed by her raw energy, invited her to collaborate on a few tracks. Nothing major at first, just background work and demo recordings, but it was enough to get her name passed around the industry. Soon she was rubbing shoulders with rising artists, appearing in late-night studio sessions, and posting covers online that made people double-take and ask, wait, who is she? Taylor wasn't just about music either. She had that it factor, the kind of stage presence and charisma that makes A-list artists take notice. And according to people close to her, she had one name on her dream collaboration list for years: Chris Brown. So when the call finally came, the offer to join his tour, it wasn't just another gig. For Taylor, it was the moment she had been chasing her entire career. A moment that in just a few short weeks would turn from a dream come true into the start of a brewing controversy, crossing the line or taking her moment. The clip is barely 30 seconds long, but it sparked weeks of debate. On stage, the spotlight was supposed to be on Chris Brown, the choreography, the vocals, the energy, all built around him. But then Taylor Terry stepped forward. Her moves were sharper, her presence magnetic, and for a moment, it felt like she was the main event. Some fans call it an unforgivable breach of concert etiquette, a background dancer stealing focus from the headliner. Others argue it's exactly what makes live performances electric, when someone refuses to fade into the shadows and seizes the moment. The controversy only grew when slow-motion replays flooded TikTok. Viewers swore they could see Chris Brown glance sideways, his expression changing. Was it surprise, annoyance, or maybe even pride? Nobody could agree. Industry insiders weighed in. Former tour dancers explained that stepping too far into the spotlight can be seen as a career-ending mistake. Unless you're so good it turns you into a star. And that's the tightrope Taylor seemed to be walking between career suicide and career breakthrough. But here's where the story gets even messier. Leaked rehearsal footage suggested this moment wasn't in the original choreography, which means Taylor either improvised on the spot or intentionally planned her move knowing the cameras and the internet were watching. If that's true, it wasn't just a dance. It was a calculated risk. And the fallout? Well, it was about to change her career forever. Within hours, fan-shot videos flooded TikTok, Instagram, and X, each clip dissecting her every move. Some showed her brushing right past Chris Brown, others captured her stepping directly into the camera's frame, as if she were the headliner herself. The internet did what it does best: take sides. One camp was furious. Comments poured in calling her disrespectful, unprofessional, and even clout-chasing. They argued that opening acts should know their place. And this was Chris Brown's tour. Some die-hard CB fans even accused her of deliberately trying to go viral by overshadowing him. But then, the narrative flipped. Another wave of fans came to her defense, praising her confidence and saying she simply matched the energy of the moment. They pointed out that in an industry dominated by big names, a young artist has to grab any opportunity to shine. And maybe, just maybe, Chris Brown should have appreciated the hype instead of letting it turn awkward. Every post, every retweet, every fiery comment only fueled the storm. Before long, entertainment blogs were running headlines like "Taylor Terry steals the spotlight," and "The internet has opinions," and "Chris Brown fans versus Taylor Terry, the showdown we didn't see coming." But here's the real kicker. The backlash didn't just damage her reputation, it boosted her visibility. In just a few days, her follower count skyrocketed, streams of her songs spiked, and even people who had never heard of Taylor Terry before were suddenly searching her name. It was the perfect example of how in the age of viral culture, even bad press can turn into the biggest break of your career. How Chris Brown responded. If there's one thing Chris Brown knows, it's how to keep the energy on stage and the spotlight firmly on him. But when the internet started buzzing about Taylor stealing his moment, fans wanted to know, how did Chris really feel about it? At first, there was silence. No public statement, no fiery Instagram rant, nothing, and that's unusual for Chris, who's never been shy about defending himself. But behind the scenes, sources say Chris wasn't angry, he was impressed. In fact, people close to the tour claimed he saw Taylor's viral clip not as an interruption, but as free promotion for his show. And if you watch the footage closely, you can see him smiling, almost hyping her up mid-performance. To Chris, this wasn't disrespect, it was just two performers feeding off each other's energy. Still, the lack of a clear public comment only fueled speculation. Was Chris playing it cool to avoid drama? Or was he quietly annoyed, masking it behind his stage presence? Either way, the mystery kept fans talking, and that, in the music world, is worth more than any press release. What this means for Taylor's career. Taylor Terry may have started this journey as just another backup dancer in Chris Brown's high-energy tour, but after that moment, her name is now being searched across social media. TikTok edits are racking up millions of views, and the entertainment blogs can't stop talking about her. The real question is, does this kind of attention launch a dancer into stardom, or label them as too much in the eyes of the industry? Because let's be real, spotlight stealing accusations can be career poison in the hyper-competitive world of professional dance. Other artists might think twice before hiring someone who could outshine them on stage. But on the flip side, this could be her defining moment. Think about it, plenty of stars were once the extra in the back before one viral moment flipped the script. If Taylor plays her cards right, she could transition from background performer to a face people pay to see. Endorsements, choreography deals, even her own dance brand, suddenly all of it is on the table. Of course, it all depends on what she does next. Will she embrace the controversy, turn it into her brand, and lean into the fame? Or will she try to quietly slip back into the shadows and let the storm die down? One thing's for sure, after this, the industry knows her name, and once the spotlight finds you, it's hard to go back to being invisible. The tears on stage. Just when the controversy seemed ready to fade into the background, Taylor Terry brought it all rushing back with a moment no one expected. It happened during another stop on Chris Brown's tour. The lights dimmed, the crowd roared, and Taylor stepped forward into the spotlight. But this time, it wasn't about flashy moves or stealing the show. Her body was still moving to the beat, but her face told a different story. Her eyes shimmered under the stage lights, her lip trembling as if she was holding something back. And then in the middle of the choreography, it happened. A single tear rolled down her cheek. Fans in the front row caught it instantly, phones shooting up to record what would become yet another viral clip. Was it the pressure, the backlash, the online hate that had been hounding her for weeks? Or was it the weight of standing center stage, knowing millions of eyes and millions of opinions were watching? Some fans say it was a raw, unfiltered glimpse of a young dancer cracking under the pressure. Others believe it was intentional, a silent, powerful statement that she wasn't going to let critics break her. Either way, that one moment made headlines again, and reminded everyone that in the world of entertainment, sometimes the most powerful performance isn't in the choreography, but in the emotion that slips through. In the end, the Taylor Terry and Chris Brown moment is more than just a viral clip. It's a collision of fame, ambition, and public opinion. For some, it's proof that Taylor is fearless, willing to take her shot no matter who's watching. For others, it's a reminder that the line between confidence and controversy can be razor thin, especially in the high-stakes world of celebrity. What's certain is this: Taylor Terry's name is now in conversations. It wasn't before. Whether this moment becomes the launchpad for her next big break, or the cautionary tale she has to recover from, will depend on her next moves and how the public continues to react. One thing's for sure, the world will be watching. If you want the full story behind today's most talked about celebrity moments, make sure you subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and join the conversation in the comments. What do you think? Was Taylor out of line, or was this her big, unapologetic power move?